Hey, what's up everybody? This is Chris with Digital REM. And in this lesson, this is the part 2 lesson of how to design jewelry in Blender. So in the previous lesson, we covered how to create the ring size or set your settings in Blender to this world scale size for the ring and how to create those dimensions so they'll be the right size. So in this lesson, we're going to apply the stones around the ring. So this is going to give you a quick summary. So first thing, we're going to import the model. We're going to import the stones from a model. So I'm going to show you how to import a model. And then we're going to duplicate that model along a path. So using a curve or using a circle path, we're going to duplicate the model along that path, and you'll see what that looks like when we get to it. And then we're going to go ahead and create the settings. So create the inset for the stones to sit inside of. So when we go along the path, there'll be a cutout for the stones where the metal's at currently. So let's just hop right into it so it makes more sense. Alright, so essentially this is where we left off in the previous lesson. We have a let's take all of these modifiers off. So we had a circle shape. We created, added a mesh and created a circle. We extruded the circle out. What else did we do? We mirrored the circle so it mirrors to the other side. So if we do change this side, we do it changes to that side as well. We have a solidify modifier here, and then a subdivision surface modifier. That'll give us a subdiv. And then also if you remember how to increase the sharpness, we're going to go into edit mode here, and you can just select the edge, and then by hitting the mean increase, you can see the sharpness will increase. So we'll just increase the sharpness just a little bit like that there. Boom. So this is where we left off. But this is what we want to create in this video. We're going to cover in this video. So see how these stones are aligned along the path or along the shape of the circle of the actual ring? Well, we're going to show you how to do that here right now. So, fumbling over my words. Alright. So first thing, we're going to import these stone models. I have the stone model library here, but I'm just going to delete it for now so you can see that it imports. Oops. Delete the hierarchy. So how you import a model? Essentially, you would go to File, Append, and then find your blend file that you want to use. So if you have a blend file, a ring build, and it would look like this. You kind of find the objects. So you can either find the objects, but I went to this file and put all the objects into a collection. So I just call it stone library, and I can import the whole collection separately. And if we haven't covered that yet, or if you haven't we haven't covered that in our check out the beginner Blender course of how to create collections and things like that. I'll create more content to cover these different things. But see, I imported this stone library. I got this stone library from Blend Swap from the guy called Backlash84. So shout out to him for providing this. It's for visual purposes, so don't plan on selling this. This is more for just showing how to use the tool. So now what we're going to do, we showed you how to import the model. That was the first thing we're going to do. Now we're going to show you how to duplicate this one of these stones to go along the circle path here. So let's go ahead and we could do this multiple ways, but the way I'm gonna do it so I won't have to to keep it simple for this lesson, Let's just keep it simple. We're gonna go add curve circle, and we're gonna scale it up or scale it down. Scale it down. This was the part I was gonna try to avoid, but thinking of my audience might be new to Blender, and I want to kind of include you on what we're actually working with is a curve here. So I'm gonna rotate this curve 90 degrees. And why I'm saying emphasize that we're working with a curve here, because initially, I'm gonna keep this curve right here just so you can see. But initially I was going to, oh, what's going on here? This is the curve. Initially I was going to just duplicate this edge here and basically turn it into a curve, but that would have been a little more confusing than just actually taking a curve and making the settings how they're supposed to be. So what I'm gonna do is align this here to the best I can. I say around right here, because the stones will essentially go around this part here. So we're gonna leave it like that. So let's select the stone. For things like this, I like to stay with the more I have it where I can't select it. I like to stay with the more square setting. So we're gonna go ahead and do this one. Move it in a wide direction, just out of the way for the time being, because I want to take it out of this collection altogether. Put it in the scene collection for now. So now I can turn off the rest of the stones, and we just have the one that's in its own. It's not in the collection, included in the collection. So now with this stone, I want to first duplicate it. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna select the stone, go to the wrench here, it's the modifiers section, select add a modifier, and then we're gonna do an array. An array gives you determine the numeric value for how many duplicates you would get of an object. So that's 20. I don't think we need 20. Oh, we could probably do, let's do 10 for now. So we have the array. This is how many diamonds we're gonna go across. Now the next challenge is to get the diamonds to flip or go along this path here. And in Blender it makes it pretty simple, because now before you can actually do that, you want to take this object at its center point and put it at the same center point as this object. So the best way to do that is to select this object, then go to object, snap, cursor to selected. Now it'll put the cursor to what you have selected. Then you go select the object that you want to snap to the cursor. So select the object, then snap selection to cursor, and that'll put it right at the center. So now what we're gonna do is select the diamonds and go to modifiers again, where we're gonna put it in curve. And then after you select the curve, you have the options here is pick whip or little eyedropper, and select the curve that you want to be to modify around. And as simple as that. So right now I think the size is a little too large. So we're gonna first toggle the visibility off. Okay. Oh, I had proportional editing selected, so it was changing both of the, and I just wanted to change the one. All right, so now I want to scale this down to around the size I'm thinking. So we'll just do this for now, like around here, and we'll go ahead and turn this back on. Boom, and you see the diamonds are along the curve. And if you go in the x-axis, it might be different depending on the axes, but you could just play with it, but you want it basically to slide along the circle here. And if it's not showing right, just toggle between these until you get it to the right where it's showing how you want it to show, which is with the diamonds facing up. Boom, just like that. So we're gonna go ahead and just slide this, what we have here, right back in here. So now we want to individual origins. Definitely if you need to scale or get the diamonds to come out of the front, just scale the actual curve and not the stones here. I was kind of trying to figure out what was going on. Let's put it in X-ray mode so I can see a little better. Because the stones will have to sit a little higher than the actual, like so. So now when you select the stones, you can pretty much, let's say we want to boost this to 20, we can add 20 now. Boom. Let's say 30. You know, you can pretty much go all the way up to, you can fill it all the way up if you want to. So we're gonna go ahead and just do like a 20 piece. Boom. See what this looks like. Like that. Boom. All right. So then, now we showed you how to duplicate an object along a curve. So now we're just going to inset the face. So similar to this side here, when I say inset the face, I can't select it right now. H. How you just create this little cut, this little, you know, this little cut from the band being cut and the stones being placed inside of it. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go back here, select the band, go into edit mode. Now remember, this is a solidify modifier, a mirror modifier, and a subdiv modifier. We're gonna turn all of those off, and you can see this is all it is a strip with those properties included. So what we're gonna do is basically cut a hole into this strip. So we're going to go to the loop cut tool, put the loop cut tool, drag it probably a little bit towards the center. Boom, we got it towards the center. One thing you want to do before that, even though I made the cut, we'll go back to that, but one thing you want to do, make sure you do before that, is just align this so it can be lined up perfectly. And I'm looking at this line here, so it can be lined up perfectly. And then we're going to go back to cutting this, because then you'll know which faces you can get rid of. So as you can see here, I can go up to this face right here, and everything above that should be good to go. So we're going to go ahead and select the faces above that. So we're going to start here and then select Control R. Oh, I have to do both sides. I didn't mirror it like that. Okay, real quick, we're just gonna go over here, do this one as well. Alright, now select face mode, select that face, then we're gonna go select all the way to select that other face. Control click, and it'll select every face in between. Then we're gonna just hit delete or X. Now put faces. So now I should delete those faces. So now when we turn our mirror modifier, if your mirror modifier still has it where it's connected, that means your merge might be too close together. Let me see. Yeah. So just put it down like 0.001, and that should at least merge in. You have your merge still. And see, and we cut a hole right there. So I just turned everything back on after the mirror modifier and the merge, setting the merge limit to 0.001. I just went ahead and turned the rest of them back on. So now we have the solidifier modifier, which is going to bring the thickness, and then we have the subdivision surface modifier. Then you can also go back in again in edit mode. You can go back in. Let's select the edge. And we select the whole edge that's the inside edge, and we can do that same technique of the mean crease and get a sharper edge on it like that. And if it's still kind of like, I'm looking at this little corner, it still looks a little flaky, you could just boost the subdiv up a little more, and it'll straighten that right out. So I want it kind of sharp but not super sharp, like around there somewhere. I also want to and that's the inset of the face. Now it looks like it's not sitting directly in there, it's sitting a little bit above, hovering a little bit above. So what we'll do is like before, we're gonna manipulate the actual curve. So we're gonna just scale that curve down a little bit till it fits in there nicely like that. Then we'll move this, translate this to move it like that. And you can pretty much just tweak it until you get it to where you want, and that gives you a band. So this is pretty much what we're going to cover next lesson. So how to get this band and how to get stones on the band. These are actually shaded, and we'll cover this in the future lessons. I want to show you it now. You can see the band, see it with the band that we just created. This view might be a little better. It's not giving the caustics, you know, like the other view, but again, that creates the band for you. Then you go in the cycles render view. It looks a little more realistic. So yeah, pretty much that's the lesson with that. So I hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, subscribe, do what you have to do. Like it, leave a click, whatever you gotta do. But yeah, so this is part 2. So part 1, again, we covered how to create the band. Part 2, we create the actual metal band to size and of scale. And then part 2, we covered how to create the stones to go in the band, or create any object that needs to go along a path eventually. So we're using modeling a ring to let you see the similarities between modeling other objects and other things that might not be a ring, but you can use the same tools to try to model, or use the same tools to achieve the same goals. So as you saw, we inset the stones. It came out nicely. I mean, what can you ask for? So look forward to seeing us in the next video, part 3, where we might get into how to do the prong setting, create the prong settings, and with the same technique we're kind of using, and then create the center stone, or set the center stone. And then probably after that we'll get into the diamond shading and the metals and textures and things like that. But that's for a later lesson. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Again, like, subscribe, do what you have to do. See you in a later video. Peace.